Did you know that Japan once had wolves? If you've watched Wolf Children, though, you probably already know this. Japan had two species, the Honshū wolf and the Hokkaido wolf. But today we're going to be focusing exclusively on the former, also known as the Japanese wolf, which frankly doesn't make a lot of sense considering there were two of them, but I don't even know at this point. Anyway, the Honshū wolf was endemic to the mountainous and forest regions of Kyushu, Shikoku, and of course, Honshū. They were the smallest wolf species at about 1 foot high at the shoulder and 3 feet long. So these guys were tiny, itty bitty, like coyote if that. In fact, it's debated among scientists whether or not it should even be classified as a wolf due to its size or lack thereof. But it is, in fact, considered a subspecies of gray wolf and the closest wild relative of the domestic dog thus yet. The oldest remains of this creature date back to somewhere between 2,270 to 12,000 years ago. So we're talking ancient. Although these wolves were so tiny, they actually had no problem hunting prey much larger than themselves, such as wild boars and deer. Sources say they even preyed on horses. But when they weren't feeling so ambitious, they fed on smaller animals such as rabbits, rats, etc. Their prey was actually considered vermin to farmers and their crops, so wolves and farmers benefited from one another. Actually, the wolves were well respected by the Japanese. They were and still are seen as guardians with spiritual, godlike powers. People such as the Ainu would save parts of the wolf, such as their teeth, fur, skulls, etc., and keep them as protective charms. Shrines were built to worship the wolf, some of which still stand to this very day. Some local legends include a starving man who offered himself up to be eaten by a wolf, but the wolf refused and gave him a piece of his eyebrow instead, which made the man very rich. Fujiwara Hidehira, a ruler of his noble clan, was rumored to have lived nearly 100 years by drinking the milk of a wolf by whom he was raised. So, do with that information what you will, I guess. Feeding rice to a pregnant wolf was also believed to earn a good favor in return, and it is said that if a wolf came to a traveler's home and howled sadly, it was a signal that they had died on their journey and would not return. Also, wolves could apparently predict the future, for a wolf could be heard howling just before a flood struck a village in 1889, seeming to warn them of the dangers to come. But we can't have nice things, I guess, because a plague of rabies swept over the wolf population in 1732, brought over by non-native domestic dog species. Bounties were issued against the wolves, and so people hunted them down mercilessly with guns, traps, and poison. What individuals that weren't affected by the disease suffered from the loss of their forest habitat as more and more cities were being built to support the increasing human population. The last Honshū wolf was fatally shot by farmers in Japan's Nara prefecture, January 23rd, 1905. A haiku was written on the species memorial. It reads, "I walk with that wolf that is no more."